Once upon a time, in a certain kingdom, there lived a cunning thief named Ranga. He was very skilled at stealing. But one day, through great prudence, the king caught him. The king gave him a harsh and unique punishment. He had Ranga's nose and ears cut off. Ranga felt deeply ashamed to go among people now. To escape the humiliation, he ran away to a dense forest and started living in a cave. He would only come out in the dark of night to collect roots and firewood, returning to his cave before sunrise. Having lived in the forest for a long time, Ranga's beard and hair had grown very long and wild. One morning, a young man from a nearby village came to gather wood and reached near that cave. He saw Ranga entering the cave. Seeing his appearance, the youth thought that this was some great, enlightened sage performing penance in solitude. The youth called out from outside the cave, "O holy sage! How long have you been here? And what are you doing? May I come inside?" Ranga answered from within, "No. I am performing a special penance in which I must not look upon the face of any stranger man or woman. I only come out at night, so you cannot come inside." The youth considered him to be a highly attained enlightened being. He began bringing food and water from home daily and placing it at the cave entrance. After a month passed, the youth's family asked who he was taking food for every day. The youth explained that there was a great ascetic in the forest, and he wished to make him his guru. After some time, the youth pleaded with Ranga, "O Mahatma, I wish to accept you as my guru. Please give me initiation." At first, Ranga refused, but when the youth insisted, Ranga laid down a condition. He said, "I have one condition. Come back tomorrow with a razor, and you must only put your neck inside the cave, not your whole body." The next day, the youth arrived with a razor. As soon as he stuck his head through the cave's window, Ranga immediately took the razor and sliced off his nose and ears. The youth screamed in pain and cried, "What have you done? How will I go back to the city now?" Ranga shamelessly replied, "This is the only method I know. This is my Guru mantra. Now go to the village and tell people that, by the Guru's order, I have taken a vow of lifelong non-violence. To ensure that not even a microscopic organism dies by entering my mouth or nose, I have sacrificed my nose and ears and will now keep my face covered with a cloth." The youth was helpless. He could not admit that a swindler had tricked him and cut off his nose and ears. So, he wrapped a cloth around his face, went to the village, and told the same lie that Ranga had taught him. Gradually, word spread in the village that a great non-violent saint had arrived in the forest who gave his disciples such an initiation that they became supremely non-violent. People became eager to take initiation from that saint. A crowd began to gather outside the cave. Ranga was now badly trapped, but he did not want his secret to be revealed. He placed the same condition before everyone: bring a razor and receive the Guru Dakshina. A long line formed to receive the Guru mantra. Whoever put their head inside, Ranga would cut off their nose and ears. Out of shame, those people would also cover their faces and pretend to follow the non-violence vow. In no time, the noses and ears of people all over the city were cut. When the news reached the king's ears that an excellent saint had arrived in the forest, the king also went for darshan. Seeing the king near the cave, Ranga was terrified, but he sat quietly inside. The king asked him to come out, but Ranga did not. Finally, the king entered the cave, drew his sword, and threatened him with death. Terrified, Ranga fell at the king's feet and began to beg for mercy. The king recognized him. When the king learned the whole truth of how this thug had fooled the entire city, he punished Ranga with 100 lashes. However, after the punishment, Ranga faced no trouble living in the city, because by then, everyone in the city had their noses and ears cut off. He looked just like them. Moral of the story: this story teaches us that we must be very careful when choosing a guru, mentor, and leader. Blind faith and following someone without thinking is foolishness. As the saying goes, the blind leading the blind. Times, if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Like teacher, like student. Meaning, someone who is himself a thug or ignorant will want the world to be just like him.